Welcome to the men's call tonight. Yeah. I invited a few of my friends over and we are having a blast. Hey, I'm so excited that you've joined us tonight. You've come in from chopping wood, getting ready to sharpen your axe, and I'm so proud of you for that. Hey, I want to do a little review tonight because I figure this is where we are leaders in the world right now. And let me just start by telling you, leaders do four things. I was just in Ohio and I got to talk to a bunch of incredible champions up there. We had a blast. Carlos and Sally Wood head up our family room there, and they're just killing it at a whole nother level. And they've got a bunch of crazy people around them that are adding value, and I'm just so proud of them. Leaders are really about getting something done. And in order to get it done, I just want to remind you of this, and I want to sharpen this, and I want to challenge this, and I want to ask you tonight to set some new goals in these four areas. Number one, leaders create positive change. Notice I said positive change, not just change. A lot of people want to change everything, but it's not positive change. And I just want to tell you, we will do a whole lesson on change, but what people are not up on, they're always down on. The first question when you change anything in your life around you, people around you are going, how is this going to impact me? There's a great book written called Who Moved My Cheese? And a lot of times things don't get done because people resist change instead of creating change. Where are the 5 areas in your life right now, relationally, financially, spiritually, that you need to change some things? I just want to encourage you, there is no growth without change. It all begins in your mind. You begin to think the thoughts, and then you decide whether you believe it or not. But what is it that you need to change right now that you're resisting, or it doesn't feel comfortable? What do you need to change? I had a friend of mine, he had a dog, and it would sit on the front porch and just howl. And I go, bro, what's up with your dog? He said, it's sitting on a nail. I said, well, why doesn't he move? He said, because it doesn't hurt bad enough yet. People change when they learn enough, receive enough, and hurt enough. But I want to encourage you to create change because you are a leader that is creative. So I really want you to take some time tonight to go in and say, what are the changes I need to make in my work ethic? What are the changes I need to make in my reading? What are the changes that I need to make in my association? What are the changes that I need to change in my mindset? Leaders create positive change. If you own a company tonight, can I ask you a question? What would you give for 5 to 10 leaders that would create positive change? I promise you, it's the most important thing. Organizations that stay the same before long have no value. You've got to know your customer and make the adjustments that you need to have. The second thing they create and cast clear and compelling vision. What is the vision? Do you know what separates you from everyone else in your life right now? Your picture of tomorrow. Powerful scripture that says where there is no vision, people perish. Where there is no vision, people return back to their failure ways. If you have a vision, it's got to be big. A vision is a dream with a plan attached. How am I going to accomplish this? What steps do I need to take? What people do I need? What processes do I need to create? By the way, if a business is going to be successful, you have to have the right product, the right people, and the right processes. You succeed to the level of your vision, but we fail to the level of our systems. What is your vision for your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps that you have to have in order to make it a reality in your life? What do you need to do in your life right now to get a clearer vision for your life, to understand your purpose, to understand your meaning, to understand your value? While I was in Troy, Ohio for a men's locker room and a leadership night, I started casting vision about having a G5 building in Ohio. And we started talking about blacking it out like we do here at G5, and you got this big screen tonight. And by the way, if you can't see that, that's boxing gloves. We're fighting. We're not on a playground. We're on a battlefield. That's what we are, man. We're fighting. We're fighting for the hearts and souls and minds of men and women. What is your vision? Do people around you know your vision? By the way, let me just give you one little cooking thing here. If you've got a vision, you have to move it from me to we. I always watched, even in my own family, our amazing young adults, Blake and Bree. I remember I would walk through and I would cast vision about what we were going to do at G5. And one day I heard my son and my daughter both taking people on tour. Say, now this is what we're going to do here, and this is what we're going to do here. And I went, okay, we're moving it from me to we. Your responsibility is to cast vision, share vision, and make it so emotional that people can feel it. You see, if you're a facts person, I'm really proud of you. But facts very rarely move people. It's when you cast a vision and a picture of the difference that you're going to make, and it's emotional, that it changes everything. The third thing that leaders do is they absolutely resolve conflict. You'll either be remembered for the problems you create or the problems you solve. Are you solving problems right now? And by the way, if you work and you're a part of anything that's growing, what would you give for 10 more problem solvers? What would you give for someone that had the ability to articulate a need and a vision? There are three things when you're communicating you always want people to absolutely hear from you. Number one, what do you want them to know? Number two, what do you want them to do? And number three, how do you want to make them feel? Do you realize that 90% like 96% of all communication is nonverbal? It's about your eye contact. It's about the passion that's in your soul. It's about the vision in your heart. By the way, this is not only at work. Where we really need to up our game is in our homes. It's how my body language is. It's the importance I put on things that are around me. I just want to encourage you, what are 5 things that you could change in the area of solving problems and reducing conflict? Unity is a powerful, powerful place to be. The place of unity is actually the place of power. Where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, I'll be in their midst. And if they agree on anything. Let me tell you one of the greatest agitators in all the world. And that is for one person to be growing while the other one is not. Because you see the world so differently. Some people see the world through problems. Other people see the world through opportunity. If you want to drive somebody that sees the world through, we can get this done, and I'm not taking no for an answer. It doesn't mean I'm belligerent. It just means I will not give up until I have accomplished. But somebody that is problem focused, they just continually allow obstacles that are in their way to slow them down. I want you to be the people that you understand the obstacle is the answer. By the way, you will be remembered in your life by the problems you solve or the problems you create wherever you go. In your life, you want to be a problem solver, and you want to teach others how to be problem solvers. When our young adults now were young, like 7, 8, 9, we stopped parenting so much and started de-parenting. And one of the things that we would do is when they would come to me with a situation, I go, well, here's what I want you to do. I want you to give me 3 solutions. And I want you to make sure you can deal with the consequences of the outcome of your decision. So if you come to me with a problem, also come to me with 3 possible solutions. It's wonderful to see when people begin to think outside of problems and start seeing opportunity. By the way, in every problem, in every challenge, there is an opportunity. You've got to be willing to look for it, believe for it, and step into it and see what happens. The 4th thing they do is they develop leaders. If you run a company right now, if you're a part of a company, if you're a part of any organization, do you have too many leaders? Now, leaders do the right thing at the right time for the right reason and the right way. Leaders do the right thing at the right time for the right reason and the right way. Leaders. How do you develop them? Well, first of all, you have to set an example. But you have to find out what makes them laugh and what makes them cry. You've got to find out what they want. What do you want? What do you want? Are you sure you want it? And if you can't find out what you want, then ask yourself, what is it that I don't want? I don't want to live in turmoil. I don't want to live without vision. I don't want to live without making a positive change in the people's lives around me. Do you know how much time we waste by not creating with our hearts, minds, souls, and spirit the right mindset to make a difference? Here's what I really want to focus on tonight. So now we're into new. I want you to focus on how in the world do you recover from a mistake? We have got to teach leaders how to recover from a mistake. Now, I don't know if you are like me. Have you ever been in recovery? Have you ever had so much pain inside of you because you twisted an ankle or you pulled a muscle or you did something that caused you to be in the place of where you need to recover? How fast can you recover? How fast can you adjust your mind? Now, I'm just telling you, we loved our children and we listened to their pain and we validated it. But so much of the time when they would get in a bad attitude, I would hear my wife say to them, you've got 1 minute to get out of that. Now, my kids will laugh about that, okay? But we would give them about a minute and we'd say, you got to get enough emotional intelligence that you grow out of it. Have you ever pulled a muscle? Have you ever been in recovery and wondering, how long is this going to take? I had a friend of mine, he's a sports doctor, and he works with patients who have sports injuries. And they asked him one day, they said, how long does it take somebody to recover? With the same injury, he said, some people take a month, some people take 2 years, and some people never recover. How do you come back after you've been knocked down? How do you come back after a surgery? By the way, isn't it amazing that you can be in pain? You go to the doctor and he goes, we're going to operate on that. And they operate on it. And instead of the pain getting better, even though they fixed the challenge, how many of you know recovery is painful? Healing is painful. It seems like it gets worse before it gets better. Healing is recovery. How about in a relationship? In a mistake, and we've all made them. If you are of the belief that you've never made a mistake, I would just challenge you maybe to say, I probably need to revisit that. By the way, I don't know how to get anything done without making mistakes. If you can remove the fear of making a mistake, and even though you make them, they're only useless if you don't learn from it. So I just want to encourage you, people that recover fast, leaders that recover fast. Let me ask you, how long does it take you to come back after you've been knocked out? How fast can you come back? How fast can you get back on a horse? When I was about 7 years old, my friend brought over this massive horse, and I got on it, and when we started riding it, it took off, and all of a sudden, it decided it wanted to go to the barn where it lived with me on it. And I'm trying to hold on, 7-year-old, and all of a sudden, I fell off. I still have a scar. I remember getting up, just scabs all over me, literally where I'd been just on the road. It was on the road. And I just fell, and there was just cuts all over me. And I remember going back to my house, and my mom put some medicine on him. And about an hour later, my friend showed up and went in and said to my mother, I want to get your boy back on this horse. Well, you imagine, I'm thinking, no. Me and that horse don't like each other, and I'm not getting back on it. Well, he talked to my mother and said, hey, if your son does not get back on this, he's going to be afraid of it for the rest of his life. So he took me outside, and he looked at me, and he said, now, when you get on this horse, I want you to understand he feels what you're feeling. You let him know that you're in control. I got back on. I was a different man. I was still scared, but I rode him, and I took him back. Do you know how much that was a part of my recovery? Some of you right now, you failed at the things that mean most to you, and you're embarrassed by it, and you run from it instead of facing it and going, I will not be defeated by this. By the way, they call me the comeback kid. I come back. And every countdown is absolutely a setup for a comeback. So get ready. Even when they launch rockets, they have a countdown before a blast off. I just speak over your life tonight that you're coming back. So let me tell you what they do real quick. I got to do this fast, okay? I hope you'll take notes fast. By the way, I love it when people take notes, because if you want to have a noteworthy life, you got to take some notes. You got to write it down. You won't remember it. Plus, can I tell you, somebody that takes notes sets the example to everyone else how to take notes. We train young leaders here at G5. Take notes. Take notes. So how do you come back? Number one, they take full responsibility for their actions. Without taking full responsibility for your actions in everything you do, you absolutely create a mindset that is not stable. Whenever you hurt a loved one or lost a huge investment, owning up to the fact that my own decision did it. My decision. Some of you have people in your life that hurt you, and you want to blame them. But truthfully, come on, don't get mad at me. My name's PT. I love you. It was your decision to be their friend that caused the pain. In your life right now, are you on the road to success because you take full responsibility? It's me. It's me. It's not anybody else's fault. It's me. Yeah, but they did. Yeah, but it's me. Here's why I want to encourage you to take full responsibility, because I don't know anybody that doesn't take responsibility that ever recovers. They just stay in a cycle of brokenness. So I want to encourage you to totally own up, take responsibility. And if you really want to be really mature, take responsibility when it was somebody else's fault. Oh, that'll mess you up. Great leaders don't waste much time finding fault. They find solutions. And the solution is inside of you. So your decision in your life, they're entirely on you to recover from making mistakes so you can move on to a better, brighter life. Just take responsibility for your actions. Number 2, they know that mistakes are almost never as bad as they seem. You ever make a mistake and then you can't recover from it? I know about that. And if you make a mistake and you're embarrassed by it, you very rarely learn from it. You absolutely heard me right when I said mistakes are never as bad as they seem. Only your emotional state is. I'm going to give you a moment to write that down. Only your emotional state is. The only thing that guarantees absolute doom from failure is death. And as long as you're alive, you have a brighter future than the most talented dead man or woman in the graveyard. I just want to encourage you right now to breathe it in deep. Breathe it in deep and say, it's not as bad as it looks. It's going to get better. Never let a bad mistake take you away from your happiness or your focus or your joy. Rather, turn it into your advantage. Turn it into desire. And use the anger that you feel against yourself, turn it into energy and desire and hunger that causes you to succeed even farther than where you would have before. Number 3, they forgive themselves and they apologize to everyone affected. Wow. You can never fully move on from something if you cannot forgive yourself for it. Gaining the sympathy, comfort, and forgiveness of people you hurt in the process it doesn't entirely take you off from your doomsday moment in your life. You've got to learn how to forgive yourself. Other people can forgive you and I. But if I can't forgive me, I can't move on even if you've forgiven me. I just don't want you to live with this unforgiveness of yourself because you're not perfect. Now, I'm going to tell you, don't be flippant about it either. We all have responsibility, and we're going to take responsibility. But I can tell you that making mistakes is part of the human condition. And when you do not forgive yourself, you can ask everyone around you to forgive you. But I can tell you, until you forgive you, you'll never know freedom. I just want you to forgive yourself. I also want to encourage you to ask for forgiveness. Every time your actions affect people close to you, I just want you to know when you ask for forgiveness, it builds trust in the relationship. And they will stay loyal to you because of your humility and your honor of asking for forgiveness. Wow. Number 4, they learn from their mistakes. They learn. When something goes wrong, they understand because they have wisdom that something went wrong and they figure out what went wrong. They don't try to hide it. They don't try to cover it up. They don't try to blame others. They don't beat themselves up for it. They go, you know what? I'm going to find out why this happened. I'm going to learn something new so it never happens again. I'm going to grow through this, not just go through this. I'm going to get better because of this. It's a mindset. And they adjust their plans immediately. And because they do that, they make progress. They make progress. Doing something so many times the same way isn't going to change it. Saying, you just got to understand this is the way I am. You got to learn from it. By the way, at G5, I not only want us to learn from our mistakes, I want us to learn from our successes. A lot of times when I'm with my family, I'll go, that was awesome today. Why did that work? Why do I need to know why it works? I'm glad you asked. Thank you. Because if I don't know why it worked, I can't repeat it. So I need to know why it works and why it doesn't work. If it's not working, dismount. If the horse is dead, get off of it. I just want to encourage you right now to learn something from the pain that you're going through, even though now you're in recovery. Wow. By learning from your mistakes, you make amends. And you get yourself closer to the goal every time. By the way, P.S. on this, okay? Don't justify and don't rationalize. That never brings healing. I never get ahead. Number 5, and we're going to get it done in 30 minutes tonight because I love honoring your time, okay? By the way, October 7th, we're having a G5 unbelievable walk, run, crawl, bike, motorcycle at G5, and we're connecting it to a relationship seminar. Hey, I think Carlos Wood's got a bunch of guys coming because Sally's making him come to the relationship part. I don't know about you. As a man, I don't like the idea of going to a relationship. You think some other man's going to tell me how to run my life. Well, I can tell you, you're going to be in a really safe place because my wife and I will have you on the floor crying, laughing because we air our dirty laundry. She tells everybody about all my mistakes, but I'm a recoverer. So I'm going to tell you how I recover as she laughs at me for my mistakes. I'm kidding. No, I'm really not. Anyhow, I'm telling you right now, we're going to have a blast. Put it on your calendar and bring some people with you. Number 5, people that recover from their mistakes help other people avoid making the same mistake. People that really recover spend time saying, hey, I did that. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I'm just telling you my experience. Truly successful people find joy in helping other people around them not suffer the same pain of the mistake and of the recovery. By the way, I can tell you in your life right now, great leaders know that all the time you're either building relationships or you're repairing relationships. We found out that it was a lot cheaper in life to build boys than repair men. So in your life right now, in your area, you're going to find the happiest, truly the most successful people do a lot, watch this, to bring joy and blessing and performance and increase in other people's lives. I want to challenge you. Take those 4 things that I talked about, and I want you to get on your road to recovery. So we're doing this men's call tonight. Tomorrow night, It's Tuesday night. It's Tuesday Fire. If you're in the area, come and see us. But can I tell you, I want to talk about recovery from a spiritual place. A spiritual place. Do not stay hostage to yesterday's mistakes. Release yourself into tomorrow's miracles. Men, this is your moment. Ladies, I'm glad you joined us tonight. Share this with somebody. Have a lunch. Take them to coffee and say, hey, we're going to make it. We're going to recover. Let's don't be that person that takes 2 years or never. You got to be willing to go through the pain of recovery, to go through the pain of healing, to get where you need to be. Don't be ashamed. Don't be afraid. Don't be hesitant. Don't be prideful. Get on the road to recovery. Your comeback, your rising above it is going to be so awesome. I love you, man. What a privilege to be with you tonight. Thanks for your time. I love you. Yeah. Woo.